Welcome to Nkwazi Unfiltered. This is the place where we have conversations that have no masks, no walls, and absolutely no filters. We speak to movers and shakers and have conversations that are deep-rooted in who they truly are. We have an incredible guest for you today. Their bios, and then there's her bio. So rather than me try and wing it, I'm going to read out a little something that was written about her. And it says, she is an award-winning personal finance educator, strategist, and author dedicated to transforming financial literacy across Africa. I simply like to call her the fashionable face of financial literacy, wealth creation, and investment advice. Our guest today is Jayne Mazimba. Welcome to Nkwazi Unfiltered, Jayne.
Thank you. I like the fashionable bit.
Yeah. Need we say? I mean, if there's a wide shot, people will see what I'm talking about. It's great to have you here, eh?
Thank you. I'm so excited. We've been trying to do this for a while now. So
yeah, it's finally come right. 2025 is looking good, and we are definitely on the right path. So let's get things rolling. Your journey to financial freedom is basically a story of inspiration. And we would love to know what happened and at what point did you get up and make a decision and say, right, I want to make my life right and I want to take control of my financial decisions.
Yeah, I think it's no secret. I've talked about it so many times. I've written about it. I started off this journey in debt like everybody else. I did the things. I did tick the boxes, go to school, get a degree, come back home, get a job in banking or something. So I did the banking thing. So I ticked all the boxes, but nobody really taught me or taught us about money. So along the way, somewhere there, I ended up in a lot of debt. So here I was, there's specific dates, specific pivotal dates, like 1st January 2018.
Well, that's very specific.
Very, very specific. I woke up in my mother's spare bedroom. Essentially, I went back to the bedroom where I was when I was 15, 16 years old.
Right.
With a child, with a maid, trying to squeeze back into this home because I was so broke and I was heavily in debt. Yeah. And obviously, you know, there are things people tell you, no, they'll hit rock bottom. But it's not like a moment in time. Like it's like a couple of months where you're in this dark place until something happens. For me, it happened to be a friend of mine who came over to my house a couple of months in. She brought a bottle of wine and she brought a video of Caroline Mutoko. You actually know the friend. I'll tell you after.
We'll chat about that. Yeah. We'll not drag the friend in just yet.
Yeah. So then she was like, oh, I saw this video online. Caroline Mutoko, this Kenyan lady, and her and another lady called Washeke had done a series on money in your 20s, money in your 30s, and money in your 40s.
Wow.
And I know we were like late 20s on the precipice of 30. So we were like, okay, so we watched Money in Your 30s. I think it was like 15 minutes. And we were really like, what do we want our lives to look like 5 years from now? Because we would have crossed over into 30. And so we talked about a vision 2022, you know, because that was 2018.
Right.
So like vision 2022. And she went away, but I took it seriously. That unlocked something in my head.
Right.
So I actually sat down and crafted Vision 2022. And Vision 2022 for me was to get out of debt. So I started that journey. And I think around May that same year, I started traveling quite a bit. So I decided...
And these trips, were these business trips?
So they were work sponsored,
right.
But I decided that I wanted to share because another thing I'd been doing was looking back at my Facebook. Then we were heavily on Facebook. And we kept getting those memories like 3 years ago today. And it was always just very superficial. The memories I was getting at least felt superficial because I was in such a dark space. So it was like parties, drinks, you know, things that are, I guess they're nice, but when I really needed encouragement, they seemed to annoy me or depress me more.
Right.
So I made a decision sometime around that time that I was going to share meaningfully online. I wanted that in the next couple of years, when I got the memories, I should either learn something, smile, or laugh.
Right.
Yeah. So I started being intentional about what I was posting and the captions and everything. So essentially, I used social media like an accountability platform.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was sharing about the travel, and slowly I started sharing snippets about my journey with finances.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that started it all. And yeah, we got out of it. Less than 5 years, I might add. 22 months.
Impressive.
Yes.
But there's a specific component of that journey that I'd like to delve into. And that's the issue of you being a single mother. What specific financial obligations were really bearing down on you?
You know what it was? I think it was just really and truly, it was everything.
Yeah.
I had made some bad financial decisions. I don't really like to talk about this, but there was a divorce that happened somewhere in there. But there are other people involved, so I don't like to dig so deep in there. But you make decisions that affect you a couple of years down the line. So my main thing was, because I worked in the banking sector, I was heavily indebted on the premise that you get a lower interest charge as a banker, So I was heavily indebted. And when the separation happened, I found myself with very little income. I think I write about this in my book, that first month, January 2019, when I got my pay slip, it said I was taking home 900 kwacha. And my maid was taking home 800 kwacha.
So you had 100 kwacha to your name.
Essentially, I had 100 kwacha, less than, because on the 2nd of January, when I went to the bank to check my accounts, I had 2 kwacha 98 ngwe.
Good Lord.
So it was very dramatic.
Yeah.
I do believe myself to be one of the lucky people that I had a home, my parents' house, that I could go back to.
Yeah.
And they were able to cushion my finances quite a bit those first few months. But it's embarrassing. These people sent you to school, they educated you, you had your own home, you're a banker, and then now you're back in our house.
Yeah, no, but gratefully. I mean, as Black people, one thing is true. Parents will always be parents.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And they'll always welcome you in, and they'll say a few words. They'll let you know exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they won't kick you out.
Yeah. But I also recognize that there are a lot of women out there who actually don't have that.
No.
And sometimes that forces people to stay in difficult spaces.
Exactly.
So I do recognize that I had a lot of privilege, which I am grateful for.
As you should be. As you should be.
Yeah.
And now, having obviously transcended and achieved and accomplished this level of freedom, what was it that you decided to start doing to ensure that you never went back into this life of debt? Because I believe that's the beginning of the story that you tell.
Yeah.
To start telling people and teaching people how to get out of debt and stay out of it.
Yeah, I actually did go back.
Oh.
Yeah, because you recognize that, I recognize that debt is actually more of a mindset issue than it is a pocket issue. So for me, I did the 22 months. Obviously, my plan was to do 5 years, but because I was paying extra and everything I was doing and sharing, I made a little bit extra money. So I was paying extra to pay down the debt. Right. So by 22 months into my journey, I had paid it off completely. But a couple of months down the line, I realized oh my God, I'm going into debt again. Because now I've got the extra money I was using to pay down debt. So, let's buy a designer handbag. Yes. So you're like, let me get this bag. I'll pay you in 3 months. And then, let's go on this little trip. I'll just take a salary advance. I'll pay it back in 3 months. So a couple of months down the road after finishing off, I looked at myself and I was like, you're going back there. And now you don't have the excuse of saying so-and-so told me that we should get this together. Right. So now you have to really look at yourself and check yourself and be like, what are the things that I need to put in place? So I always say my journey has been divided into 3. There was the debt-free journey, which I achieved. Then I went into a savings journey where now I started using the extra money that I had, the money that I used to use to pay off the debt.
Right.
I started using that to build my savings. And again, it's a learning cave because there was a point where I saved so much money. I was holding so much cash, but it wasn't really growing.
Right.
So after that period, now I say I'm in my wealth building phase where now we're learning to invest to make sure that the money is working and growing for you. Yeah.
Right. And I like the fact that you've spoken about the transition. And earlier you spoke about, well, how to handle your 20s, 30s, and the 40s. You've obviously interacted with people across all those ages and even beyond.
Yeah.
What are some of the misconceptions that you've come across that Zambians across the whole age spectrum have regarding financial security?
I think that when we're younger, the biggest misconception is we think we don't have enough money to save, to invest. So 20s, even early 30s, it's like, I don't have enough. There isn't enough money to put away. But like I said, savings is a muscle. It's something, if you can't save on a 1,000 kwacha, you won't save on 100,000 kwacha.
True.
Like you've mentioned, I've seen so many people who are high income earners, they take home 110,000, they come back to you, they're heavily indebted. Oof. And it's like, what are you doing? They're able to blow through that 110 every single month for years.
How that is even possible? It is shocking.
It's possible, yeah. So I think it's actually even easier. If you can build that muscle on smaller amounts, then it becomes like second nature to you. As your income grows, you're able to split and just put away. So I think that's one of the big misconceptions. As you get into your 30s, late 30s, going into early 40s, there's the trap of the flash. We want to show that
they
now,
must see me.
We don't fly economy anymore. We're in business
Business
class.
Yeah.
We don't drive the small car anymore. It's, we've, so now you want to show, And also the funny thing is that's also the period of time where we also our income starts to compound on itself.
Right.
It's like in your 20s, you're learning your craft. So your increments are slow, but by the time you get to like 30, mid-30s, they start jumping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with that, there's a jump in lifestyle.
Yes. And that becomes like a big thing. So with that age range, the mid-30s to early 40s, it's a lot of being flashy. People must see.
Right.
If I drive this car, what are they going to say about me? If I live in this neighborhood, what will they? No, you earn too much to live here. Move. Right? And then as you get into now late 40s, going into 50s, a lot of the people that I speak to start saying, it's too late. I don't have time.
Oh my goodness. And panic. Panic sets in.
Panic sets in and then it's like, oh, it's too late. And then like kids are now going into college. So the expenses are much bigger.
Exactly.
And you start regretting the first class flights you were taking.
Like why?
I should have saved more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are like lessons that you go through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously there's a lot of advice that's out there. And if you just go on to any platform and type in the prompt financial advice, you'll come up with 1,001 pieces of advice from all over the world. What makes the advice that you give unique?
I think a couple of things. The first is it's very contextual. I'm very intentional about speaking about Zambia and Africa.
Great.
Because we are in a developing space. It's a developing market. It's a developing country. So some of our opportunities that we have here is not what the West has. So when you go online and you check in financial literacy, unfortunately, you get a lot of Western information, which is great for principles and foundation. But when it comes right down to it, you find that it's skewed. So you hear a classic example that I give, and this is not financial advice, but a classic example that I give is if you're listening to the West, they always tell you don't put your money in bonds because bonds don't grow as much. Put in the stock market, right? But because their stock market is mature. Correct. So it's growing at 10, 11% per annum. And their bond market is also very mature. So it only grows at maybe 1 or 2%. So technically, if you're that side and you put in bonds, you're not. But in
It's the
Zambia.
inverse of that.
It's yes.
Exactly.
The stock markets are catching on, and that's great. But also, you have to invest long term. Whereas with the bond markets, we've seen what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't just take it word for word. The principles are great, but then now you have to bring context and start applying. So that's one. Another thing is, this is a lived journey for me. I didn't go to school, and I'm not, no shade to any financial person, financial literacy advocate who shares from a point of intellectual perspective, because they are professionals. They've seen a lot of examples.
Right.
But for me, this was lived. I have actually done the work, and I'm still doing the work. So if I tell you can get out of debt, I can show you my first pay slip, and I can show you how much I was paying off, and the side hustle. You saw the side hustle I was doing online.
You were right here. So it's you're an experiential teacher.
Exactly. So even when you sit down and with me and you say, oh my God, I feel like I'm drowning and I'm having these thoughts, these are things that I know. If I say I know what you're going through, I mean I know what you're going through. And even just being an African woman, these are things I've gone through. I know what it means. Earlier off camera, we talked about the black tax. I know what that means.
You're preempting the question.
I'm not preempting the question.
we're heading there.
But, I know what it means to be here in this space. I am just a regular woman, just like anybody else. And so I feel like that's the difference between me and some of the other experts out there.
I hear you. You brought up black tax. Let's go there. What are your views on black tax? So I had a conversation with a friend who said, no, I don't buy into calling it black tax. It's not even a tax at all. It's just Ubuntu. That's how we live. And I said, well, yeah, but when it goes overboard, it tends to be problematic, because now you create a dependency and people just feel, hey, you owe it to me.
Yeah.
Another friend came to me fuming because some cousin of his said to him, hey, my son's made it to the next grade and I need to buy uniforms. And he says, but you knew the child was going to school. Were you hoping that he would fail?
Yeah.
He says, you can't ask me that. I says, no, I'm asking you because you're supposed to be a responsible parent. And the cousin had the audacity to say to him, but you only have one child. Why are you being so stingy? I was like, okay,
that's
entitled much?
Yes.
What is your take on black tax, and how can it be done right?
I'm really thinking through this answer.
I can hear the gears going.
I'm thinking through it because I always say, I don't like to call it black tax. If you've attended any of my sessions or any of my classes or whatever, I actually, when I teach budgeting, I call it a love fund in my budget line. Because I recognize that we are, most of us anyway, are a product of the black tax.
Right.
Even just the example of me having to move from my house and moving back into my parents' house, and they had to support me for those first few months. That's a tax on them.
True.
Right?
True.
I like to think of it as a love fund, because most of us, like I always say, we're first generation or second generation to go to school, to get jobs, to drive cars, own homes. And to a certain extent, we have a responsibility to bring our people along with us. Right. So I always say this: when I cleared grade 12 and I was going off to school, I had aunties come down, be like, oh, here's $100 pocket money. Or while I was away in school, every so often, do you have groceries? Let me send you a little something for groceries. Right. So I don't feel so badly about it, because I do recognize that if I've got siblings, if I've got cousins, there's a responsibility for me to help them to a certain extent so they can be self-sufficient, so that now the burden is not just Jayne, or it's like 6 of us. We are doing well, so we can help. However, there is that bit of like, where do you draw the line and the boundary? So like for me specifically, I have things that I have intentionally put in place and say, these I'll help out, these I will not. So for instance, if somebody has cleared school and maybe we need to pull some money to pay for their semester to go because maybe their parents can't afford, which is genuine, that's fine. I will add, I will contribute to that. And, small amounts here and there, somebody's getting married, whatever, but not the ones who are consistently, they bring us new babies. We don't know the fathers. They want us to buy diapers.
Yeah. We then make them, you raise them.
Yeah, exactly. And then some people will be like, oh yeah, no, I'm heavily in debt. Can you help me pay off? And then they even have amounts. Yeah, you're doing well. I'm owing 40,000 kwacha. And you're like, what did you do? No, I invested in stones. Like, if you had just stayed stones before you took that loan, I would have told you that that's a scam.
Don't do it. Yeah.
So when taking the money, you didn't consult us, but now that you're in trouble, you're consulting us.
We owe you.
Yeah. So you start finding, I think that there's a balance of making sure that you're helping but not enabling.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. Helping but not enabling. Oh, that's love fund. Okay. We learn something new every day.
I call it a love fund because I wanted to change how it feels for me.
Right.
Because I feel like when I put giving or tax, it felt not nice. So I choose to put away a small amount every month.
Right.
Somewhere. If it doesn't get used, it doesn't get used. But I know that it's there so that if somebody actually genuinely needs something, I'm at school, I'm struggling, my laptop is dead or whatever, I can contribute meaningfully.
Okay.
But yeah, we're not giving you to go through a party.
We'll try and put that to the test. There's a pair of Jordans that I saw, and I'll be giving you a call. Okay.
No.
Okay. Moving quickly along. You are an author.
Yes.
And I must commend you because a lot of the great ideas and insights that people have, they take with them to the grave, sadly, and don't leave them for posterity to glean from. You authored a book with an incredible title, Catching Fire.
Yeah.
And I noticed the FIRE is an abbreviation or something. What is FIRE an abbreviation for?
Fire was the fire of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, wow. Hallelujah.
So FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. This is a movement that started obviously in the West.
Right.
Of like young millennials who were not so young anymore. But, after the 2008 financial crisis, people took on this movement to say, how can we aggressively save and invest, create wealth so we can retire? And by retirement, we're not talking about going to sit on a boat somewhere, but more so
sipping colorful drinks.
I mean, that's fine too, but more so pivoting to do things that you actually love or things that are impactful.
Right.
So for me, it sort of came as a natural journey when I went on this paying off debt, starting to save, and then also starting to create wealth. It's something that I was like, oh, that's a nice idea. If money wasn't a catalyst anymore,
right?
If my salary wasn't an impact, would I still be doing this thing that I'm doing? For me, the answer is yes.
Oh, wow.
But
you are fulfilled. You are very fulfilled.
But a lot of people will be like, no, I'll be a teacher. I'll be on a farm. Things like that. So yeah, so catching fire. We all should catch fire somewhere.
Impressive. And obviously, there's been feedback. The people have bought the book and they've spoken to you and talked about the impact it's had. Which, in your view, is the principle that stands out the most that people have really said, aha, Eureka, I have found it. That is the one.
Yeah. I think I usually get this feedback like right at the beginning. I didn't know I could put my goals like that. I would craft my vision like that because the structure of the book is like, I'm a Christian in case you haven't picked that up.
Oh, picked that up a long time ago. Once you went Holy Ghost fires, we're home and dry.
Yeah, so I use a lot of devotionals for Bible study.
Right.
And so I structured the book like a devotional as well. So it's week by week. This is what you're doing. This is the impact it's supposed to have. This is why you're doing it. So week 1 and 2, those seem to be quite impactful. Like, I knew I wanted to be rich, but the book really helped me like define what does rich mean, add a number, add a timeline to it and things like that. And then there's one interesting one about going to see the doctor. So there's a week in there. There's a week in there where I suggest going to do your medical checkup.
Right.
Because it's always better to preempt and take care of yourself than it is to wait for sickness to happen.
True.
Yeah. So ideally, the book is little suggestions for your life that seems small week by week, but have a big impact on your financial well-being. So that one, people are always like, go to the doctor. But no, it was interesting. I went. I found out I was pre-diabetic. I went and this and this. And now I can get ahead of it. So that's been,
amazing. So you've basically taken stuff that we sometimes assume is obvious, but it isn't as obvious as we think it is. And people miss out on the little nudges and hints and clues that will make their life better.
Yeah. Exactly.
Brilliant.
And sometimes
Brilliant.
you just need somebody to remind you. Like, you're supposed to do it, but you haven't got around to do it. So here I'm reading, my task for the week is to book an appointment with the doctor. So let me just do it. Yeah.
Okay. And obviously, your book is a book that you live by. Are there any other financial books that inspire you? Your go-to financial books or authors?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the first ones I encountered when I went on this journey was The Smart Money Woman, obviously by Arise Ugu. That was a really nice book that I read early on when I was going through this journey. I had read Richest Man in Babylon way back when, but when I actually started putting my life in order financially,
Right.
I kept going back. And so what happens with Richest Man in Babylon is I read it every year. It's short, it's a fast read, and I like how it goes by parables. So I just go back every year, and every year it speaks differently to me. So when I was in my saving era, it was a lot of put something aside.
Right.
Now I'm in my investing era. I find that I'm drawn more to the investing part. So where do you put the money to make sure you grow it? Things like that. So that's one that I always have in my house somewhere.
Brilliant. So that's the books front. Are there any TV shows or movies that also inspired you or continue to inspire you on your financial journey?
TV shows, I think it's more like YouTube. Yeah. I love Ramit Sethi.
Right.
Am I butchering the name?
Yeah.
Ramit Sethi. Yeah, he's good. He wrote, he did a show, I think, is it Get Good with Money or something on Netflix?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he basically does the same financial journey but with a bunch of people. So every episode there are new people. I think that's really cool. It brings faces and real life to money and the journeys that we live. Another one that I sort of binge on quite a lot every so often is the Dave Ramsey show.
Right.
Those debt-free screams.
You live to hear those.
Yes. And also because I have like quite a number of friends who live in the diaspora and they're like, oh, I have a mortgage. And I always go back and I'm like, these guys paid off their mortgages.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those are fun for me. Sometimes when I'm driving to work, I just put on the Ramsey show and I listen to it the whole time. And quite recently, I've been listening to Founders podcasts.
Right.
So
right.
Founders, I guess because I'm in my wealth era.
Yes.
So Founders dives deeper into like men that shaped our economies, people like Henry Ford, the Elon Musks, and their journeys and their philosophies. So every episode has somebody who he reads. He reads a biography and he shares on the podcast. So that's something I've been binging on the whole year. I tend to get obsessed with one or two things.
It's good. It's manageable. I mean, you can't be all things to all people. And so given a choice, would you rather listen to a book or are you old school and you love a tactile feel?
Very old school. I've never listened to a book. I was thinking twice before. I'll listen to a podcast, but I've never actually listened to an audiobook.
Eh?
I always read out all my books, and I live for those weekends where I've got nothing to do. I pretend I'm out of town and just read a whole book from start to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of doing things.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you've been speaking to men and women, but it's a known fact that financial literacy amongst women is an issue. And there's this struggle for financial independence amongst women folk.
Yeah.
What is your take on steps that can be taken for women to become more financially independent, to be able to become decision makers because of their ability to be able to make financial decisions?
Yeah. I actually feel like there is literacy around women. It's just how we I don't know if it's how we structure the literacy or how it's used, or maybe it's not intentionally like this is literacy. But you see a lot of women know how to make small money.
Right.
They know how
Right.
to braid hair or go to the market, sell this and that to make the money. A lot of women know how to budget in their own way because they know they have to make some ends meet.
Yep.
They know how to put away a little something. These are things that we were taught by our aunties, grandmothers. Every time you've got money, put away a little something. The literacy that we don't have is how to scale that. So you find that our men folk tend to have a lot more. They make these big, bold moves and make these big, bold incomes, right?
Yeah.
Like a guy will come here and be like, oh, yeah, no, I just got paid a gratuity and I just invested it because it's going to double or triple.
Yeah.
They take big risks and then they make big money or they make big losses.
Yeah. Go big or go home.
Yeah. So there's a discrepancy in the type of literacy that we have. So with women, it's more informalized. So I feel like with the women folk, we need to start maybe teaching them more of the formal sector, how to get in there, but also how to invest more, I think, so that the money can actually work for you, because you cannot save your way to to financial freedom.
Happening.
Yeah. I think then there needs to be some intentional work there, and also maybe just creating platforms that are easier for women to access. It's not as easy for a rural woman to just walk into a bank or walk into a microfinance and access finance for their business, things like that. We've made great strides as a sector, but there's more we can do.
So, chatting with you, I keep hearing snippets of you valuing alone time and valuing time for you to be able to invest in yourself. Now, a lot of people get obsessed with their passion. And it consumes them completely. What do you do with regards to work and life balance? You have a busy life, but clearly it's a fulfilled life, because I'm hearing little hints of actual living going on in there. What's your secret?
Therapy.
Okay, that was quick.
I feel like when you go through something as big or life changing as I went through, like a divorce, debt, all these things, it's easy to be in survival mode for a really long time. And I feel like that's something that I did like so well. Hence the paying down debt quickly, the saving quickly. That was survival mode. Quite recently, I've started learning how to live and live well. Yeah. And part of that was actually therapy. And part of that was starting to see a life coach. Because I did burn out at some point. I was constantly tired. I was starting to get depressed. I couldn't function at my highest, even at work. And so I went to the hospital and the doctor was like, this is fatigue. I'm going to put you on a water drip and I'm going to let you sleep for a couple of hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That bad?
Yes. And so I was in the hospital, like she's been admitted, but really...
It's really just to get you to rest.
Yes.
Okay.
And a friend of mine did mention like, okay, you know what? Like maybe you should talk to somebody. And so I went to therapy. I did a couple of sessions with the therapist. And afterwards it was like, okay, you don't need me anymore. On the clinical side, you're fine. But maybe consider seeing a life coach who can actually help you along. And so I started seeing a life coach. And there's been work there. So just remembering that it's okay to be a little bit selfish. You like to read a book, get a book, lock yourself in the house and just read or sleep or don't go out and things like that. And just feeling less guilty about saying no to things that...
About that. And that is problematic with people who are on the up.
Yeah.
And also when you start to enjoy seeing people's lives transform.
Yeah.
It starts getting to you where everybody who shows up, even at awkward hours and the boundaries are gone. Yes, yeah, sure, let's do it. Before you know it, you're overwhelmed and you're capsizing.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to learn how to say, I'm sorry, I'm tied up right now. Can we do this later?
It's still difficult. Even now, it's still quite difficult. You want to help, you want to jump on this thing. Every so often. A trick that I use now is I will charge.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, because when you add a monetary requirement to something, then you really see who's serious and who's not.
Correct.
So people will be like right now, I'll give an example. There's this clip of the village banking conversation I had with somebody, Suilanji. And so it's been going around and I've been getting so many calls every day, like, oh yeah, my group. And so I'll just say, oh yeah, there's this fee. If your group is serious, put a fee, I will do a session with you.
Great.
Okay, we'll get back to you, and then it's
and
mute.
they disappear.
Yeah. They'll send so many DMs. I've even crafted a whole response. I'll be like, this session, this is how you book, and they're quiet. And then you get the one or two serious people who will be like, oh, actually, we're organized. We want to come. And those I'm willing to do, like, even for free. I'll be like, yeah,
they've
because
shown the commitment.
Exactly. So like that really helps in just like letting the drop-offs, but also just, I've stopped making decisions in the moment. So
Clever.
if I feel like saying yes, but I'm not sure, then I'll just say, oh, I'll get back to you. And then I'll take a moment and check my calendar and see whether this is really something I want to do. Then I'll come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, my calendar is full, or I'm happy to jump on.
Yes. So what does a financial literacy, investment, and wealth development coach get up to when she's not doing what she's doing? What are your hobbies and your pastimes? So obviously we know reading is at the top of that list. But what else do you do? What sports, what activities? What's your happy place away from what you do? Travel.
Yes. I travel quite a bit.
Wanderlust.
Yes. I love to see, especially Africa. I love to explore Africa. There's so many similarities and so many differences.
Right.
So I've made an intention. I want to go to every African country at some point. I've done 19 so far.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah, some have gone back multiple times.
Right.
Others just one off and I come back.
Once is more than enough. No names mentioned.
Well, to be fair, I do work. So sometimes there's a privilege of your corporate job doing these things for you. Like there's a whole conversation on entrepreneurship. Quit your job 9 to 5. And I'm like, there's some perks there. Relax.
Yeah, it has its benefits. I can do both and I'm good with that. Yeah.
So some of it is work funded. Some of it, obviously, I'll save up and plan, and during my leave, I'll travel. So I travel quite a bit. I spend a lot of time with my son. We've been doing this for the last couple of months where every Sunday after church, he gets to decide what we're doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because, so he'll say, oh, let's go swimming, then we'll go swimming, or let's go go-karting, and we'll go go-karting. Sometimes he just wants to watch a movie. Sometimes you say, let's go home and play God of War.
And you, oh gosh,
I'll learn how
a
to
gamer,
play
mom.
video.
Which button do I press again? After the A?
Yeah, because, like during the week, he goes to school, I go to work. So it's very go. You come home, do your homework, bath, sleep. So during the week, like at the weekend, I try to be a little bit intentional with how we spend quality time together. What else do I do? Yeah, I sleep quite a lot.
Sleep is good. People do not know the value of sleep.
Yeah,
until they're being hospitalized and being put on drips.
Wow, shots fired.
No, I named no names. I'm just saying, people don't rest until doctors have to lock them in a ward. But that said, I like the fact that you've incorporated your son into decision making.
Yeah.
And how has that developed over time? Because obviously, initially it was just very random and haphazard decisions. Are you seeing more of a thought process going into his decision making?
Yes. So like there are things like sometimes I have to say no. Like if he picks something extravagant or expensive, there's the money lesson there to say, okay, this we can't afford. We didn't plan for it. Can we plan for it a few times? So then now the questions are a bit more. Anyway, but I guess he's also growing. Right. So he'll be like, is it okay can we afford to, or can we wait for the month
nice.
end?
So the money component means something now. It's not, we've got limitless resources.
Yes. So he's more intentional. But I find that really and truly at the core of it is just spending time together. Yeah. So sometimes he'll be like, let's go home and make pancakes. And he just wants to be able to do an activity with you. Yeah. And so it's far and few in between. Yeah. That you have the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. No, I love that. I love that. And how old is he?
He's 9. He'll be 10 in May.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he's in line for a fantastic prize or birthday present because
Birthday. I think he had a birthday when he was 1. He was too small.
Let's put that to rest right now.
It's not
Birthday
for
parties for a 1-year-old are
2-year-olds.
for parents. No, 1, 2, forget it. They have no recollection of that. It's a hangout, and under the guise of hey, happy birthday, and then back to our activities as parents.
So he's I guess like a lot of like what our kids see, they also tap into.
Right.
So he's very clear about what he wants for his birthday. He wants to go to Cape Town.
Oh wow.
He wants to go to Cape Town. And so I'm like, okay, finally, we'll go to Cape Town. I was ready to throw a big party, but he said, I don't want a party. I want to go to Cape Town. So, hey.
That is a man who knows what he wants.
Yeah, we're going to Cape Town. I don't know what he's seen in Cape Town because he's never been there.
These kids growing up now see things that we didn't have a chance to see.
Yeah.
We saw stuff in books and encyclopedias and the odd magazine.
Yeah.
They have access to information that we could only dream about. And speaking of dreaming, the future. What are your audacious goals and aspirations for, let's keep it short, the next 5 years?
I don't know how much I can say.
No.
Because then you start holding me accountable.
Which is a good thing. You've done great so far and we've held you accountable. And hey, let's dive in.
Yeah, a few things. I am working on my second book, which I am excited about. Hopefully to be ready soon.
Oh wow!
No dates, no commitments
no pressure
yet.
there. No pressure.
Yeah. I'm starting school. I'm going to.
You're going back.
I'm starting school next month.
Going back to school.
Yeah.
Well done.
On the 3rd of February. Yeah, something I've always wanted to do. So I'm glad to be going back to that. I've got a few projects that I have been working on in the background. I can't talk about them yet, but those I am excited for as well. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Now you've got it all lined up. Very, very intentional.
Ish.
Nothing's accidental anymore.
You know what? To be honest, I try and do one big thing every year.
Right.
And then a few small things like every quarter. So, because sometimes like you need something, you need a win. Life can be a bit depressing. Life can be like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I try and sneak in these things that I work towards to remind me like, you are that woman, Jayne.
Ah, yes. Yes. So look in the mirror and say, yes, you winner, you.
Yeah.
Great. If you were given a minute to dispense incredible advice, just like a nugget, a gem that you drop to any person who's watching, what would it be?
Actually, this is something that my global CEO said this week, and I will repeat it because I wrote it down and now it's on my wall. He said, be clear and unapologetic of the things that you want, and do not feel guilty for the hard work that you do to meet those goals.
Oh.
Yes, I wrote it down. I was like, hello,
That's
mantra.
Definitely something that you need to read over and over again.
Yeah.
That is such a piece of solid advice. And it's applicable wherever you are, whatever your
Everywhere.
station in life.
Yeah. I feel like we are in a generation that's like, oh, you work so hard. You know, there's nothing wrong with hard work.
It's actually good.
Yes.
It's actually very good.
Yeah.
The truth is, let's move away from enjoying just receiving and take pride in earning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always so good to point at something that you worked hard for and be proud to say, yeah, I
did
earned
that.
this.
Yeah.
I earned this. And give yourself a pat on the back. Now, it's been an incredible journey that you've shared a little snippet of with us.
Bit.
Yeah, but it gives us more insight into who you are and what drives you. And we've had the privilege of being in the engine room of Jayne Mazimba.
Yeah.
And so as the future unfolds, We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
And hope that we'll continue to say, even when you've got security around you, but she's our friend. We know her. Like,
Save my number now.
Yeah, now's the time. Now's the time. I think we're going to take selfies so that I've got evidence. I know her. See? See? And like, that's AI generated.
Yeah.
But it's been absolutely fantastic. Truly enjoyed chatting with you. And thank you so much for being transparent and sharing without any encumbrances and letting us know exactly what goes on behind the scenes. And we're grateful and looking forward to that second book.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited about it, but no pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. Write it and write it well. And
Yeah.
we look forward to reading it and gleaning from it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Me.
It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you so much for watching Nkwazi Unfiltered. I think it has been such a great conversation. Kamiza, you asked really deep questions, which I was not expecting, but I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
And there we have it. We have learned insights from Jayne Mazimba, a name that is known far and wide for her financial literacy coaching, her wealth creation and investment advice. And it's all experiential. And I know for a fact that anybody who watches this episode will learn something that they can apply wherever they are in life. Thank you so very much for watching Nkwazi Unfiltered. This is Kamiza Chukula. Catch you in the next episode.